Hi, welcome to Heart Alchemy Yoga. My name is Gloria Baraquio, and we are at the Springs, LA, in the downtown arts district of Los Angeles. Thank you so much for joining us. Today is all about de-stressing. Maybe you've had a long work day. Maybe you've had a long work week. Maybe you're just going through some really trying times. This practice is a tool for you to really let go, to breathe deeply. Any of this tension that you're holding on to, if you have any anger, depression, anxiety, stress, this practice is for you. So I know I've had days or weeks where it's felt pretty rough, and I really just felt so blessed that we have yoga as a tool. Some of us don't, and this is why we're doing this on YouTube, so it's accessible to so many more people. Yeah, so please welcome my friends. I have Katie here, and Sabrina, and Meredith. So please get yummy with us. Even if you are not feeling yummy right now, guarantee you'll feel a little bit better, if not a lot better, in about 30 minutes. So main thing, let's just focus on our breath. Always, that's the main thing. And then you'll see that we have our props here to support us. Blocks, blanket, bolster, and a strap. Some of you have some or all of these at home, so if you want to pull them out, right now is a good time. If you don't have these props, you don't need them. You can find something like a heavy book. You can find heavy sheets or your comforter as a blanket. If you don't have a bolster, you're welcome to use pillows, or you can use double blankets. And Katie will show us how to do that whenever we get around to that part of using it. And then straps, you can use a belt that you put around your waist. You can also use a scarf. You can also use a towel, depending on the pose that we're doing. So you can always modify, and or I highly suggest that you do purchase props. I wasn't super into props before until I started to see how they truly did support and expand my practice. So I do suggest you get that. So if you want to wait and watch this video later, go run to the store, come back, you can do that too. So let's begin. Let's start sitting up, and I'm just going to ask us to close our eyes. And naturally, you can see you kind of calm down and take a deep breath. So let's take a deep breath together. Big inhale. And exhale. Good. Deep inhale again. Exhale, open your mouth. Beautiful. Again, one more like that, inhaling. Open mouth, exhale. Awesome. And inhale again. I'll make a little bit of noise. Good. You probably like that. We're going to do that again. Inhaling. A little bit noisier. Good. Yeah, you'll notice just making some sound release some more stress in the body. So just to loosen some things up, we're going to do our Sufi circles or a Sufi grind. So we're circling from our hips. The hands are just easily, gently resting on the thighs or the knees. And I do recommend you close your eyes again. Right, so whatever stress you've picked up from the day or from other people, relationships, coworkers, boyfriends, husbands, kids, right? Let's just breathe into that. And what I've also realized has helped is when we think of those people who have been a little difficult with us, that we breathe into them. maybe bless them. Have compassion for anything that they're going through. That always makes the heart a little lighter and the situation a little softer. Good. You can inhale on the way forward, exhale on the way back. Good. And then just a few more in this direction. And when you feel complete, you'll just reverse the direction. Yeah. And you'll notice how, as you breathe, as you circle, you kind of get into the hips, you get into the rib cage, you get into the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders. And again, just keep the eyes closed to keep dropping in, right? Sometimes we take on so much from the outer world. Sometimes we self-impose demands that we think others have on us and deadlines. And sometimes they're real. And sometimes we put on way more pressure than we need to. Especially if you're a perfectionist or that type A personality. So I'm just asking you to be a little gentle with yourself now, if not a lot gentle. Good. And a few more here. When we come to center, a big inhale, keep the eyes closed, lift the breath all the way through the crown of the head. Lift it and hold it. Lift it from your seat. Feel the breath get bigger, expand. Almost like you're lifting light all the way through the crown of the head. Big exhale. Awesome. Yeah, let's get to our props. So this is my favorite, so we'll start there. And a great one to do when you really want to sort of release and maybe feel safe and nurtured again is child's pose. So everyone, we're going to put our bolster in front of us. And I like to bring the bolster maybe midway into my thighs on this one. Some of you, if you know this hurts your shins or your knees, the backs of your knees, it'll help to put the blanket between the creases. Yeah. And all we're going to do in child's pose is we'll sit our hips back onto our heels. And we're just going to turn onto our left ear. And we're going to cactus our arms. And then we're going to close our eyes. Yeah. So you can see how Katie used her 3 blankets as a bolster. This child's pose helps us to maybe remember that fetal position we were in utero. Just a feeling of safety, of being nurtured. And the thing is, when we're stressed, we actually don't feel safe. Right? That's why when you know you're stressed, your heart races. Maybe you sweat more. You definitely move and talk faster. Really want you to feel your heart melt into the bolster or the blankets. The thing about de-stressing and why we do these poses, we want to hold them for several minutes. It's because you're allowing your nervous system to really slow down. If you're going to focus on something, please focus on the breath. Or maybe this pose really just allows you to stop thinking and you don't actually have to think about your breath. So we call this our supported child's pose. Again, if you don't have a bolster at home, please do yourself a favor and buy one. There are many affordable ones online. And the pricier ones tend to have maybe better filling inside of them, or last longer, or a nice material. Good, so this is just an easy way to really melt the heart, and not just in a figurative sense, right? Really just let the chest soften. Also, an easy way to soften the hips. Good. And just to even out the sides, we'll inhale and we'll slowly turn our head onto our right ear. Yeah. And again, you always want to move gently, especially if you're bringing your nervous system, your heart rate, all of that just to a softer space. So just move slowly and be gentle with yourself. If you ever go to a restorative class where you might find this type of pose, a lot of work with bolsters or props, you'll probably hold this pose anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. And again, we do that, we take this time for self-care to undo all the hours of stress that we've put ourselves through throughout the day. I've noticed some people actually don't have the patience to be in a restorative class. And I think sometimes those are the people who need it the most, right? Because they're not used to slowing down so much. But we ease into it, right? So use this video. This isn't a full restorative class. It's just a taste of softer, gentle poses. Yeah. All right, ladies. So we're going to slowly, moving very slowly and gently, plant the hands and come up to a seated position. Beautiful. Let's just move the bolster out of the way for now. And we're going to come onto our backs. So at this point, you should feel, fairly relaxed, but now there's maybe some tension that we're feeling, right? So everyone can lay on their backs and make sure you have your strap available. And again, if you don't have a strap, for this one, you may be able to just use your hands for the stretch we're about to do. So yeah, a lot of us have stress in our lower back or hamstrings from sitting, walking, standing, driving in the car. So this is just an easy, gentle hamstring back opener. And so what we're going to do here is you'll take your strap. We'll start with the right foot. You can step the foot into the strap. And the strap is right around the balls of the foot or right above the arch. And again, you might be pretty tight, so maybe you just bring your leg just to the edge where it feels a nice stretch, right? If it hurts, you got to pull back. If it's really shaking so much, just pull back a little bit. And just notice any unnecessary tension. I notice a lot of people sort of really stress their arms out or their grip. And you don't need much here. Just try to keep your sacrum on the ground, long in the spine. And maybe take both straps in the left hand. I want you to take your right thumb and hook your right hip crease and just draw that hip a little bit lower or away from you. Yeah, and as you do that, you can still pull that right foot a little bit more towards the floor behind you. And just breathe naturally. You're also welcome to close your eyes. Maybe the whole practice, close your eyes. And you can just play with your flexibility. Some people can even go a little bit deeper. It's nice to keep the ankle over the hip, or keep drawing that right hip away from you, but keep pulling that foot towards you. But breathe. Now you're welcome to really flex the left foot, to draw the left toes towards your left shin. If that's too much for you and you feel fine relaxing the foot, that's okay too. Just whatever you do, be gentle. Good. Then you can find a variation here. We're going to inhale. Take the straps in your right hand. We're going to exhale. Draw open that leg or that foot towards the right floor. And you don't actually need to, or maybe even want to, bring the right foot to the floor. Really want to keep your pelvis level. So it helps to now really activate the left foot and make sure the left booty is still on the ground. Yeah. And again, you can just play with that stretch a little bit deeper. Draw the foot towards the head. Yeah, and then we'll inhale slowly back to center. And then just take your time. Just release out of the strap. And let's just feel even here before we move to the other side. So straighten out the right leg, kind of a short shavasana. And then we'll take the left foot into the strap. Good. And just notice the difference between the left and the right side. You can hold this in your right hand and then take your left thumb in the hip crease. Draw the hip away from you. Yeah, we always want to try to keep our pelvis level. Good. And if it's a deep stretch for you, make sure you take deeper breaths. Your choice if you want to activate the right foot or just soften that leg. And just see how deep you want to take this stretch on this side today, in this moment, right? Every day is a little different. And just notice, you can always use your exhale to go a little bit deeper. So I like to inhale here. Exhale, take my foot a little bit deeper. Yeah. Really feel this in my hamstring, but hamstring's totally connected to your lower back. So I feel it there as well. Good. Inhale, and then on the exhale, make sure it's in the left hand. You can pop your right arm out to the side. And draw the left foot down towards the left floor, but make sure that right hip or booty stays onto the floor as opposed to, right, lifting it off. That's it. Good. I'm just going to check on everyone here. Are you ladies feeling relaxed yet? Good. Yay. Yeah. Beautiful. Nice. All right. So everyone looks great. I'm feeling really relaxed. Okay. Let's inhale back up to center. And take your time, slowly release. Just come into a short shavasana again. Good. Make sure you have a little bit of space. We're just going to do a spinal twist since we're on our back. So let's hug our right knee into the belly. You decide how deep you want to pull it in. Let's pop the right arm out to the side and maybe shift your hips over a few inches to the right. Then we're going to cross that knee over towards the left floor. It doesn't have to touch the floor. So you have to decide what feels good and right for your body. Today, I actually like my bolster here. So I'm going to rest my knee there. Oh, that's yummy. Some of you want a different twist, right? So you're welcome to take it to the floor. Oh, that might crack your back a little bit. Yeah, so you can play with it here. Again, let's close our eyes. Our twists are so good. Gets all the way from hips to shoulders and more. It's amazing how so many of us in fast-paced America actually don't take time to stretch or relieve any of the stress or tension that we collect throughout the day. You know, many of us work out, right? We'll go jogging, work out at the gym, and that's a different type of stress release. But there's something different and more yummy when you're really allowing your muscles to breathe and open and let go. Okay, ladies, inhale up to center. Take your time. And shift those hips back to center. Right leg straight. Hug the left knee when you're ready. And just take your time. Maybe shift the hips over to the left. Cross it over. With or without your bolster. You can also use your blanket just as some padding, some height. And just giving us space for silence. Good. You can use your exhale to go even a little bit deeper if you want. If you're comfortable there, just stay there. Really breathe into the lower back. That's it. And take your time. And slowly uncross that leg over. Come back to center. Take a mini shavasana. Close your eyes. Good. Okay. So from here, we're going to use our block. Just one. Ladies, if you can grab a block, and then we're going to bend our knees. We're going to stay on our back, and this is going to be our supported bridge. It looks like this. We're going to put the block under our sacrum. And you all can choose the height that you're looking for. So if you want, start with the highest. That's a little bit more intense. But some of you might need that and want that for now. So make sure your feet are nice, a little bit wider than hips. Bend the knees. You want to try to just keep your thighs parallel to each other. versus kind of splaying out, yeah? Really root the four corners of the feet. You also might have to readjust your shoulder blades. It's almost like you're working towards, bridge pose where you're squeezing your shoulder blades toward each other. If this is too much work, I would go start, move the block to the middle height and then see how that feels for you. That seems to feel really good and normal for most bodies. Again, if that's too much, the lowest is really nice. Also because there's more surface area for your sacrum. And you want to make sure, truly, it's under the sacrum. If this block is really digging into you, it's probably not actually under your sacrum, right? It's that flat bone under your spine, right? Towards the tailbone. So again, close the eyes. Now your other option here, maybe way yummier. And if you have a bolster, you can put that under your sacrum. So that's one way to do this as well. Right? You can also play with blankets. So you only have one blanket at home. I might double it up like this. Now what this is doing as a supported bridge is it's an inversion of sorts. It's like a back bend. Inversion because your heart is higher than your brain. Right? That allows new blood and oxygen to circulate, especially if we've been so much in our head or we're not breathing deeply enough throughout the day. That's what this is good for. Also opening up the spine, right? Sometimes if we've been slouching all day or, just letting work get to us, right? This is opening us. It's also a shoulder opener. Yeah. So let's just stay in this for a few more breaths. And we're coming towards our finish here, our Shavasana. So whenever you're ready, you're going to slowly release your block from under you and let your sacrum come down last, right? Let the upper back come down first, maybe one vertebra at a time. Yeah. Just rest there. And then slowly hug the knees into the belly. Rock yourself left to right. So I love yoga blankets. There's several ways we can use a blanket for Shavasana. Two main ways I'm thinking of right now is you can roll your blanket. So ladies, whenever you're ready, you're going to set up the way you like to set up for your Shavasana. Everyone does it differently sometimes. So one way is rolling that blanket and it can end up under your knees, right? Another thing that people like to do is keep this actually right under their head in our computer. Just a little bit of height for the head. The other way that I love to do, maybe I'll set some of them up like this, is to cover my head and my ears. And it looks something like this. Or if you have a lot of blankets, what I love to do is take the whole blanket over me and cover my entire body, including my head. Kind of creates a nice little cave of privacy. Block out the world. So, might seem silly, but it's actually extremely relaxing. So, Sabrina has a nice setup here with her blocks. The high block is under her head. The mid block is under just kind of her bra line. It's a beautiful restorative shavasana. Meredith is blocking out the world a little bit. I just want to make sure she can breathe. So I'll just leave her there. And Katie has a nice setup because she's putting some weight over her belly, right? Also covering her hips. I know I need to do that sometimes when I just need to be weighted down, right? Sometimes throughout the day we're just up. And this is grounding, ground, right? I'm starting to think of why blankets or weight feels so good, and similar to, I would say, getting held or being cuddled, right? There's a lot of warmth and touch involved. So props are fun. They're fun because they really help us relax and find new ways to be in our body and really get creative with it. So I really encourage you, especially at home. Maybe you feel silly getting too relaxed in a yoga class, but you can just really experiment at home. There's also a great time if you have an eye pillow. Put that over your eyes. If you don't have one, highly recommend it. I think it's necessary, particularly the ones with lavender and flaxseed. You might think it's funny, but I accidentally threw my eye pillow in the wash. Tragic, but I bought a new one. So I want you to stay here for as long as you need. I know I've been in Shavasana for up to 60, 70 minutes because I've needed it. And again, people will say they don't have time, but I think it's something we should make time for, right? You have time to run around and stress out all day, but you don't have time to love yourself and to balance out any imbalances. Yeah, I think it's a good time for us to re-examine how we're spending our time and our breath and our energy. My name is Gloria Baraquio. We're at the Springs, LA, in the downtown arts district of Los Angeles. Thank you so much for being with us. I hope you feel relaxed, less stress, maybe more love in your heart. You can always search us, youtube.com, Heart Alchemy Yoga. Please subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed yourself. Make comments, and really we want to hear your suggestions of any other classes you'd like to see. Breathing, relaxing, hard flow, anything like that. So thank you so much for being with us. Namaste.